Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas may come from two completely different entertainment worlds, but their latest movie proves that sometimes the most unexpected partnerships create the most unforgettable stories. What started as a film about music and friendship slowly transformed into an emotional journey filled with heart, humor, family struggles, and the fear of losing relevance in a fast-moving world. During a recent interview, both stars opened up about their experience working together, the emotional themes behind the movie, and how the project impacted them personally. When asked how he prepared for the role, especially knowing he would have to sing alongside an accomplished musician like Nick Jonas, Paul Rudd admitted he intentionally avoided overthinking the process. He explained that if he had spent too much time worrying about it, he probably would have panicked. Instead, he trusted his instincts and simply allowed himself to enjoy the experience. According to Paul, sometimes the best thing an actor can do is close their eyes and jump into the moment without fear.
That relaxed approach ended up surprising everyone on set, especially Nick Jonas himself. Nick revealed that although he already knew Paul was a talented actor, hearing him sing for the first time was genuinely impressive. He remembered the moment vividly, describing how Paul grabbed a guitar during filming and suddenly started performing with confidence and emotion. Nick admitted he was blown away by how naturally Paul stepped into the musical side of the role. The conversation quickly became playful when Nick joked that audiences would now get an entire album sung by Paul Rudd. Paul immediately laughed and misunderstood the comment at first, thinking Nick was actually inviting him to join a band. That led to a hilarious exchange where Nick teased that he would personally produce Paul's next album. Both stars could barely stop laughing as they joked about all the unexpected things that came out of making this film together. Despite all the humor, it was obvious there was real admiration between them. Nick Jonas repeatedly praised Paul for being fearless and authentic while learning something completely outside his comfort zone. Meanwhile, Paul Rudd credited Nick for creating a supportive environment that made everything feel easier. According to Paul, Nick's calm and encouraging attitude allowed their performances to feel natural instead of forced. One of the most interesting details about the production was that the first scene they filmed together was also the first time their characters met in the story. The scene involved the two characters casually jamming together and creating music, which ended up helping the actors build instant chemistry in real life as well. Nick explained that because the scene felt fun and relaxed, it removed pressure and allowed them to connect naturally. Within minutes, they realized they worked extremely well together. Paul Rudd agreed completely and admitted that stepping into the world of music was intimidating at first. Since music is such a huge part of Nick's life and career, Paul initially worried about whether he would fit into that world convincingly. But instead of making him feel uncomfortable, Nick welcomed him immediately and treated him like an equal creative partner. Paul said that mutual trust became one of the most important reasons the film worked emotionally. For Nick Jonas, the project reinforced the importance of creating art from an honest, emotional place. He explained that whether he is making music, acting in films, or performing on stage, the goal is always the same: to create something meaningful that emotionally connects with people. Nick shared that many of the emotional moments in the movie reminded him why he loves storytelling in the first place. Paul Rudd connected most strongly with the family themes in the film. While there are many funny and entertaining moments throughout the story, Paul explained that the emotional relationship between family members is what affected him the most. He admitted that after watching the completed movie, he was surprised by how emotional the ending became. According to him, the movie slowly builds toward a powerful emotional payoff that audiences may not expect at first. One especially touching part of the interview came when Paul talked about sharing the movie and its songs with his wife. He revealed that when the cast originally read the script, the main song that drives the entire emotional story had not even been written yet. That uncertainty made both him and Nick nervous because so much of the movie depends on the audience believing in the emotional power of that song. Thankfully, when they finally heard the completed version of the music, both actors instantly felt relieved. Paul Rudd explained that the song quickly became one of his favorite parts of the entire experience. He even played the music repeatedly at home, because he wanted his wife's honest reaction. According to Paul, seeing how emotionally connected she became to the songs reassured him that the film was working exactly the way it needed to. At the heart of the story is the complicated relationship between collaboration and competition. What begins as two people creating something beautiful together slowly becomes emotionally intense as ambition and recognition enter the picture. In one emotional moment from the movie, a character admits that having his name attached to a certain song would have changed my life. That line perfectly captures the desperation, hope, and regret that drive much of the story's emotional conflict. Naturally, the interviewer wanted to know whether any of that competitive energy existed between the two stars in real life. Surprisingly, both actors admitted they had not really competed against each other at all outside the film. Paul Rudd jokingly suggested a game of darts, while also admitting that Nick Jonas would absolutely crush him in golf, because Nick is apparently a very talented golfer. The playful conversation highlighted just how genuine their friendship became during production.
For Nick Jonas, this movie arrives during an incredibly busy period in his career. Alongside acting projects, Nick continues balancing performances with the Jonas Brothers, solo music, and major live shows in Las Vegas. During the interview, Nick explained that he enjoys moving between music and film because each creative outlet fulfills a different part of him artistically. Nick also revealed that he recently wrapped another movie in Vancouver before immediately preparing for more live performances. After finishing the Las Vegas shows, he plans to return to the studio with the Jonas Brothers to continue working on new music. Even with such a packed schedule, Nick described this chapter of his life as exciting and rewarding because he feels creatively fulfilled in multiple areas at once. One reason this movie has generated so much interest is because the pairing of Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas initially seemed unexpected. Paul is known worldwide for his comedic charm and emotional warmth, while Nick built his career through music and live performances. But according to both stars, those differences actually became the film's greatest strength. Paul brought emotional vulnerability, humor, and relatability to the story, while Nick contributed musical authenticity and emotional intensity. Together, they created a partnership that feels believable, emotional, and surprisingly moving. Their chemistry became one of the strongest parts of the film because it never feels forced. The movie also touches on a universal fear shared by many people, the fear that time is moving forward too quickly. Whether someone is an artist, a parent, or simply trying to figure out their purpose in life, the fear of being forgotten or left behind is something many viewers will recognize emotionally. That emotional honesty is what gives the movie its deepest impact. Even during funny interview moments, it was clear how much the project meant to both actors personally. Beneath the jokes and laughter was a genuine appreciation for each other's talent and dedication. Nick Jonas admired Paul's willingness to take risks creatively, while Paul Rudd appreciated Nick's kindness and support throughout filming. By the end of the conversation, it became obvious that this film gave both stars much more than just another acting credit. It gave them an unexpected friendship, a meaningful creative collaboration, and a story that reminded them why music and film continue to connect people emotionally across generations. For audiences, that emotional connection may become the reason this movie stands out long after the credits roll.